Yo, what up, Sean? It's Jay George again. Anyways, part 2 video. Shoulder, rotator cuff, scapular movements and positions that we always want to try and be in, no matter if it is a shoulder specific exercise or not. Because again, 9 times out of 10, 9.9 times out of 10, 9.9999 times out of 10, when you're doing an upper body movement, your shoulders have got to be in play and correct anyway. So I guess any single upper body exercise you're doing, you're going to want to kind of keep these key fundamentals into play. And again, kind of based off of what was in video 1, shoulder torque. So a couple of my favorite little exercises to be specific to really try and trigger those rotator cuff muscles, okay, are actually going to be your lateral raises and shrugs. Okay, so here's a little idea about the shoulder again, so we can understand the principles of the exercise rather than just the exercise alone. The black and white. We're going to get a little color into play. Now, like I said, the rotator cuff, all right, comes up into the front of that shoulder, and again originates, the housing of it is inside of the shoulder blades. So what we really want to try and do is, the better that we can use our shoulder blades to gain tension again, like pinching a penny between our back, the better our rotator cuff muscles will actually strengthen as well. So that's why shrugs is an awesome key, because that's going to help trigger your trapezius muscles, which is actually in the shape of a diamond, that will help bring everything back in together into play. So with that being said, your shoulder shrugs, again, instead of just getting yourself up and into your ears, all right, you're going to want to bring yourself all the way back to your scapular retraction, to where your elbows are actually pressed against your side. And then trying to basically, if you had an imaginary ponytail, try and lift those shoulders to actually pinch the top back of your head rather than coming up in your ears. When you do so, this is going to create that external rotation in the shoulder, getting that shoulder back and creating lift through the scapula and the trapezius muscles together. But the dope thing is, you can apply this through a couple different exercises and even on your lateral raises. So once you can kind of get comfortable with this shoulder elevation through the scapular contraction, then you can try to, again, upgrade yourself to a little bit more lengthy and torquey position, to where, again, where you're starting, all right, and you're kind of where you're going to start your shrugs, but instead now keep those shoulder blades wound back and together, and then so therefore you can work on your lateral raises, trying to maintain position, and now you can feel what those shoulders are doing. You're always going to try and keep this torque of the shoulder backwards rather than forwards. And as you're lifting, you're trying to maintain this rotated back shoulder as best as you can as you're coming up in these lateral raise movements. Again, the only thing that's going to be dangerous now is, again, the internal rotation of the shoulder. So the better that we can build this awareness through the shrug and the lateral raise, as far as what that shoulder wants to do, the better we can even apply it, even do a push-up. Because when we go into something more volatile like a push-up, we can either be in this good push-up position where our shoulders are just like those shrugs, down and back, where we got lots of good shoulder torque, or again, we can be in this cliche position to where that shoulder comes forward and we're trying to do our push-ups, and this negative torque always creating this protraction and tension in those rotator cuff muscles, that rather than contraction, and that kind of that positive environment that the muscle likes to kind of reside in. So again, same thing like with the push-up. We're trying to keep all this good torque in the back, all right, and keep those shoulder blades really functioning. And again, the first way to kind of understand those principles is through, again, that good shoulders down and back with those shrugs of trying to get way up there and not letting the shoulders kind of round forward, and then applying that next to the lateral raise, making sure that we can keep those shoulders kind of down and back and rotated back on ourselves, so we feel like we're this big old freaking soaring eagle and bat or whatnot, keeping that chest really pronounced. And then again, once we get a little bit stronger, and if you're even there yet when we're practicing the push-ups, make sure, again, this push-up is in these same positions of lots of strong torque down and back in that shoulder, and maintaining that through each press rather than letting that shoulder roll forward. But this goes for every single exercise you do, period. Now your new setup is, again, creating that awareness of your scapula, your rotator cuff, your trapezius muscles, and no matter what exercise you're doing, from pull-ups to push-ups to bicep curls to whatever you may be doing, just set your shoulders. Set your shoulders, build that awareness of this rotation down and back, and you'll be stronger than ever in no time, because again, a lot of these fundamental keys are what power lifters and the CrossFit dudes use, and all this as well. So again, by us being more and more aware of external rotator cuff, we're actually putting ourselves in more and more of a torquey position, and actually we'll be able to accumulate more tension as a system as well. So hopefully a couple of those tips help you out, man. Breakdown Fitness.